Hi, and welcome to Great Getaways. On today's show, we're going to take you back in time when we visit my hometown of Flint, Michigan, better known as Vehicle City. We're going to be seeing some beautiful classic cars here. We're going to be visiting an old historic village. As I sit here at this fountain, it's very nostalgic because as a kid, I used to go downtown and go to Kresge's or even some of the other places that had these little fountains like this, and it was just so nice to be there. And this one now is located at the Buick Gallery.
Buick Gallery in the Flint Cultural Center. It includes the Sloan Museum, the Longway Planetarium, Whiting Auditorium, Flint Youth Theater, the Flint Institute of Arts, and the Flint Institute of Music.
You know what I like about this too is these are all right in a small area, so when they come down here they can almost visit everything at once.
Literally within a 2 or 3 block expanse. And so it's a nice place to come, and really just off of downtown Flint. Now, you're talking about nostalgia and history. What about those bricks? Do you remember those when you were a kid?
Oh, I sure do.
Well, you know what? We're going to go back to the bricks. It's Flint's premier car show and cruise. It lasts 5 days. You will have a fabulous time when we're there. You know, Tom, something else that we have that's fun in Genesee County is the Warrior Dash. It's something I'm thinking that you might want to try. It's kind of an agility obstacle course. They run down the road. They're doing all kinds of things, jumping or leaping and diving, and then they end it all up with knocking back a couple beers and eating a turkey leg. What do you think?
Oh, that sounds like my kind of place.
Can I pour you a Coke?
You sure can.
All right, there you
and we'll
go.
be back right after this. Genesee County, Michigan's 4th largest, is located in southeastern Michigan. Its largest city is Flint. The area was organized in 1836 and named after Genesee County, New York, in an effort to attract settlers who came here from there. The name means beautiful valley, which is a good description of the area. The Flint River helped make it the center of the Michigan lumbering industry when it funded the phenomenal growth of the Dork Carriage Factory founded by William Durant. Flint became known as the Vehicle City because it was the world's #1 manufacturer of horse-drawn carriages. With growing interest in the new horseless carriage, Flint quickly became a hotbed of automotive ingenuity. It is the birthplace of General Motors and drew multitudes to the area to work in the exploding auto industry. Flint became home to the world headquarters to the Buick Motor Company, had the largest Chevrolet plants, and gave birth to the AC spark plug. The downtown area has developed into one of Michigan's finest showcases, complete with fountains, maze-like diversions, quaint restaurants and pubs, and historic interest. The University of Michigan Flint downtown is the fastest growing university in the state of Michigan. While touring the Buick Gallery and Flint Cultural Center, we came across a Chevy. We thought that was odd, but soon learned that there was a county-wide party celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Chevrolet. I'm walking through the Buick Gallery here, and I know I was talking about it earlier. There's my old hangout, the SS Kresge building downtown. Reminds me of the days when gas was 25 cents a gallon, and which was nothing to power this big V8 that's in this 55 Chevy Bel Air, which is a real beaut.
It is beautiful, but I'll tell you what, Tom, if you want to see some beautiful Chevrolets, wait till you see what the Vintage Chevrolet Club of America is bringing in. They're coming in from 43 states and 7 countries, and for some reason, I don't think to celebrate Chevy's 100th anniversary, that gas is going to be an issue with them even now.
Okay, that sounds good. Flint's rich automotive history and strong ties to Chevrolet made Flint the only choice for the Vintage Chevrolet Club of America's national meet. Celebrating Chevrolet's 100th anniversary, over 1,600 members traveled to Flint from 43 states and 7 countries. Mona Murphy from the Flint Genesee Regional Convention and Visitors Bureau helped pave the way for what many call the trip of a lifetime.
We have been extremely pleased with Flint. Flint has welcomed us with open arms, just been tremendously supportive of both the city and the private organizations we've had to deal with. We could not be more happy with the support and enthusiasm that we've found here in Flint. We have traveled to many different General Motors facilities, both assembly plants, their Heritage Center down in Sterling Heights. The Sloan here, of course, on this hallowed ground where Billy Durant started General Motors and later Chevrolet. And that's the attraction to us, is the historical roots of both Chevrolet and General Motors right in this very spot. I think it's no coincidence that our national organization, which is 50 years old, with 8,000 members, and we have brought people here from 42 or 3 states and 8 different countries, decided that Flint was the right spot for this type of event, as did our sister club, the Buick Club of America, some 7 or 8 years ago on their centennial event, selected Flint. It's an excellent location, just the right size city, all the support that one can ask for, so yes, I would highly recommend.
These Chevy enthusiasts took over the city for an entire week and were delighted with all that Flint has to offer. It's no secret that Flint has a long-standing love affair with the automobile. Its residents are seasoned veterans that have cut their teeth on everything that rolls on wheels. They know that every car enthusiast in the country wants to drive through their downtown, which boasts the longest continuous expansion of original brick pavement in the country. They have witnessed some of the most fabulous cars in the world roll down their streets. Their week-long visit was filled with seminars, presentations, swap meets, car shows, judging, plant tours, picnics, historical driving tours, bus tours, shopping, eating, drinking, and making merry. It culminated with an awards banquet at the Riverfront Banquet Center, an extension of the University of Michigan's Flint campus. When it comes to celebrating their heritage, nobody does it better than the Vehicle City, home of General Motors and the United Auto Workers. When Flint holds its annual classic car show, Back to the Bricks, over 5 days every August, even the name is in honor of the streets in downtown Flint.
We're here for the Back to the Bricks car cruise. This is the 7th annual cruise, and as you can see, there's cars everywhere. This is a great place to be. We're starting at the US 23 drive-in. We're going to be seeing a movie tonight. We're going to be looking at a lot of classic cars. Come on in and help us enjoy the excitement.
Back to the Bricks is an annual car cruise, an event that celebrates an old tradition of teenagers cruising from hangout spot to hangout spot. For Genesee County teens, this includes the A&W, Varsity, Colonels, and Walleys, most of which resided on or close to Saginaw Street. Though most of the buildings have long been gone, the tradition of cruising continues, especially for 5 days out of the year at the Back to the Bricks car cruise. The celebration, which was first held as a one-day event on Saginaw Street in Flint, Michigan, started with only a few hundred cars and spectators, has grown to expand past all these boundaries. Since its first event in 2005, the Back to the Bricks has grown to over 25,000 car participants and over 250,000 spectators over a 5-day span. Here he is, the founder of this classic car event, Al Hatch.
You're the man to talk to here because you are actually the founder of the Back to the Bricks.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah, it's absolutely the truth.
Well, how did you come up with the idea?
Well, a lot of it got reminiscing about the old days when we were kids, and back in the late 50s, early 60s, we used to cruise from local restaurant, drive-in restaurants, and we'd cruise the Bricks downtown Flint. And we thought, what if we started another cruise and we call it Back to the Bricks, kind of reliving the days of American graffiti, you know.
Oh, it really is, too.
I think the car that most guys my age dreamt of growing up was the mighty Corvette. I remember being downtown as a young man and a vet went by and my buddy said, when you see a vet, they're just rumbling along as if to say I'm the baddest cat on the road. Well, I must be dreaming again because there are Corvettes from every year right in front of me gleaming and just rumbling along. They are the baddest cats of all. These beauties belong to the United Council of Corvette Clubs. Anthony Bowling, president of the local Trendsetters Corvette Club, took a minute to tell us about their collection of automotive royalty.
We're expecting a lot of cars. As you can see, we got cars from all over, from Indiana, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Detroit, Columbus, Toledo, Ohio, as well as far as Pittsburgh. Last year we had 478 cars and we're looking to double that this year. Yes, this is one of the biggest car shows of this area, and the reason why we wanted to do this car show because the first 3 Corvettes was built right here in Flint, and this we call making history. We're bringing all of the Corvettes home back to their roots. You know, a Corvette is beautiful. You know, I always seem to think that, you know, it's personal. You know, you personalize your car to your taste, you know, and a lot of people have done this, you know, especially Trendsetters Corvette Club. You know, we stand out, you know, amongst all of the other Corvette clubs, not only in Flint, but all over because of how we personalize our cars. And wherever we go, people just, you know, just crowd around our cars because we bring something special to a Corvette. And that's why we call it Trendsetters Corvette Club. Flint has a lot to offer, especially during times like this. You know, it's all about, for us, it's all about the Corvettes, but for Flint, it's all about the cars, period. So we'd like to invite everybody to come to our city and just see, you know, what we have to offer.
Did you think that the classic cars were the only thing that got Flint's motor running? Think again. Flint features motorcycles of every kind, shape, and color during its Bikes on the Bricks extravaganza. The event runs from Friday through Sunday on Saginaw Street in Flint and features a biker fashion show, a tattoo contest, music, food, special guests, and more. Participants will also be able to take part in a 30-mile long police-escorted ride throughout Genesee County on Saturday. About 10,000 people normally attend. The event has grown from a one-day event 5 years ago to a 3-day extravaganza with thousands of motorcycles. It also takes people through different parts of Genesee County. The first event was put together in a few weeks and was held on a day that hovered around 40 degrees. With the last-minute planning and poor weather, the event drew only about 150 people. The now large crowds are a boon for local businesses. The event allows bikers and law enforcement communities to come together. It will feature a contest among law enforcement bikers from Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, and Ontario. They will ride through an obstacle course to test their biking abilities. Be there to nudge your way through spectators watching the police agility trials as bikers from all over the country watch as motorcycle officers compete. In addition to the test of law enforcement officer skills, Bikes on the Bricks offer people a chance to check out custom bikes. It's for people to come down and mingle and see some of the fabulous bikes that are going to be on display. Some of these bikes are a work of art. No one does it better than world-famous designer Ron Finch of Finch custom-styled cycles. Motorcycles are being revved up, horns blasting, sirens going. It was everything you would expect during a big bike rally. To top off our Vehicle City tour, we were able to take a plant tour of GM's truck assembly plant. Tours through the GM Flint assembly plant are awesome. You can walk right down next to the line as skilled workers assemble Chevy Silverados and GMC heavy-duty trucks. The enormity of the GM Flint truck assembly plant is something you have to see for yourself to truly understand. The 3.7 million square foot factory opened in 1947 and has assembled over 13 million cars and trucks, including 300 1953 Chevrolet Corvettes. GM truck chassis are assembled upside down and then flipped over right side up. We watched an orange robot pick up an upside-down chassis, roll it over 180 degrees, and then gently place it on another production line conveyor right side up and ready to go. After the chassis are flipped, they get their engines and transmissions installed. Here we saw a suspended engine coming from the engine and transmission production line on an overhead conveyor and the truck chassis coming on a ground floor level conveyor. Two GM team members then carefully lowered the engine and transmission into the truck chassis. GM Flint Assembly Plant is actually a two-story plant. Once the truck chassis has its engine, transmission, radiator, and tires, the painted and trimmed body coming from the upper level is placed on the chassis via a vertical conveyor. As the chassis are being assembled, the truck cabs are being welded by a small army of robots. A few feet above the welding robot production line was a catwalk where you could stand and watch the sparks fly. It was both amazing and odd to witness these robot arms work with no human interaction. Arrangements for plant tours can be made through the Flint, Genesee Regional Convention and Visitors Bureau. Autos are not just about work. Sometimes it's just the opposite. Sometimes no work is the only way to get work done. Called the strike that was heard around the world, the 1936-1937 Flint sit-down strike changed the future of those employed in the automotive industry forever. The new industry was slow to respond to the needs of employees who often worked under substandard conditions. The strike, which lasted 44 days, resulted in a one-page contract that recognized the UAW as the bargaining agent for the GM workers. Credited for the rise in the middle class in America, it is said that this historic event may have turned out differently had it not been for the efforts of the women family members, friends, and neighbors who turned out in droves to support the loved ones locked inside the factory. The newest addition to the memorial are the 3 statues honoring the work of the Women's Brigade. The one woman is being dragged by a police officer, another carrying a basket of food to the workers inside the plant the strikers had occupied, and another breaking a plant window in the midst of a tear gas attack by police. Located behind the UAW Region 1C office, the outdoor memorial is open for all to enjoy at any time.
Listen, I can think of another activity for you and your family that might be a little bit more subdued, and that would be our Halloween at Crossroads Village with all the ghosts and goblins and everything, and I think your grandkids would just love it. And in addition to that, we do a Christmas at Crossroads, which is fabulous. We have the Tree of Lights and the train rides. It's wonderful. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Let's take a look.
Okay.
Halloween at Crossroads Village is a staple. The crisp fall air and splendor of Michigan's fall colors surround visitors for October's month-long celebration of Halloween. We brought the whole family on this trip. Wives, daughters, sons, grandsons, granddaughters, and more as we take a trip back in time to the authentic Great Lakes town from the turn of the last century. With more than 34 historic structures and a thriving community to welcome us, we would ride the Huckleberry Railroad, trick-or-treat in the historic village, and learn a trade from a blacksmith. Since the focus is on family-friendly fun and not fright, this is just a place for families to celebrate the fall and add a little Halloween fun to their day. When you want to know more about the surroundings, find the boss, and that's what we did when we talked to Gary Pringle, the park's general manager.
Crossroads Village. What exactly is Crossroads Village?
We're part of the Genesee County Park System. We're a historical village that has different seasons and we do different programs during the year.
Okay, a lot of old homes. Kind of tell me about the park itself.
The park itself was established in 1976 as a bicentennial project. During the summer season, we have what we call our historical village. We have a steam locomotive, blacksmith shop, sawmill, cider mill, all the things that you would have back in the 19th century. Then during the Halloween program, we have our Ghost and Goodies program, where we have trick-or-treaters that go through all the village, everything's decorated, kids come in costumes, parents come in costumes, and the whole family goes trick-or-treating.
Okay, a great idea, and as you can see, we're here for that celebration, and all the kids in the background, and people running around here. But you also have a train on here, a haunted train ride to go on?
Yep, it's an 8-mile train ride for 40 minutes. It's a steam locomotive, Baldwin, and some of the cars date back to the late 19th century.
Wow, so this is really a turn of the century, last century.
Late 1800s, everything, all the bells and whistles.
Okay, now how long are you open for the Halloween?
For the Halloween, we end on Halloween night. We're open for the month of October, usually always all Saturdays and Sundays, most Fridays, and then we do pick up a couple extra weekdays closer to Halloween. So we do end on October 31st.
The whole gang boarded the Huckleberry ghost train in excited anticipation of their ride through an enchanted forest with ghosts and goblins lining the forest on each side of the track. You could see the excitement in the kids' faces as the train swayed along the track. Hey, was that Sponge Bob? Boy, you see everybody out here. Join us as we enjoy a scenic 40-minute ride through the woods and meadows and along the shores of beautiful Mont Lake. Experience the modern way travelers crossed the country more than 100 years ago. The narrow gauge railroad's collection of cars include 11 originals and replica wooden coaches, plus a classic red wooden caboose. The train is pulled by one of 2 restored coal-fired locomotives built by Baldwin Locomotive Works. Engine 464 was nicknamed the Mud Hen and originally carried miners to Colorado in their quest for gold and silver. Why do they call it the Huckleberry Railroad? Well, the old-timers say that the huckleberries grew alongside the track. And because the train moved so slowly, passengers could hop off, pick a handful of berries, and hop back aboard before the last car passed them. Fresh cider and donuts at the Mill Street Dining Room wind down a great day. Right after Thanksgiving, people come near and far to see Crossroads Village in its entire winter holiday splendor. Authentically costumed villagers continue with their day-to-day chores as visitors stroll through the village. Most craftsmen are happy to take a break and share how they live and work.
She's a good girl.
And can I feed it a mint? Does it like mints?
She loves peppermint. Of course, she's from the North Pole.
There you go.
Peppermint.
Oh, yes.
The powerful whistle of the Baldwin steam locomotive reminds visitors and townspeople alike that it is rolling in and will soon be loading yet another group of merrymakers on its nighttime holiday ride on the Huckleberry Railroad. The fabulous lights, delicious dinners, and music from the Colwell Opera House and the smell of roasted chestnuts all lends to a festive atmosphere. The festivals last through the end of December, and, as all good things must come to an end, the village closes until spring. Wow, that was a great family getaway, but now it's back to some adult fun. The Warrior Dash is no longer held, but we thought you would enjoy seeing what it was like before it came to an end. In my opinion, Warrior's Dash has to be the premier 5K mud run. The event is well organized and the obstacles are all doable, but challenging enough to be entertaining. Runners came in kilts and tutus. They wore t-shirts that read Buff Mother and delightfully tacky yet unrefined. And beyond the finish line was an Irish rock band and beer tents where you could also purchase a turkey leg that was not only tasty, but a sort of trophy that says, I'm a warrior and I made it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start at the beginning with race director, or as he's professionally known, the enforcer of energy.
The start of Michigan's first Warriors Dash. As you can see out behind us, we've got thousands of people lined up, and they're all here today to run this race. Ryan, give us some overview on what this race is all about.
Yeah, this is our first ever Warrior Dash Michigan. Warrior Dash is a 5K extreme run from hell, as we like to call it. 12 obstacles along the way that warriors will conquer, and they'll finish off the race covered in mud with a nice beer. The idea behind Warrior Dash is to combine a lot of things into a weekend that you can't normally get, and also embrace that childhood outdoors, rugged kind of feel, and also the older, workout, get your fitness in, drink a few beers, hang out with friends, eat a giant turkey leg. So it's a really cool opportunity to combine a ton of stuff into a short amount of time.
What about age groups in here? It seems like I'm seeing all different age groups.
Yeah, you got the youngest runner can be 14 years of age. We've had people complete the course that are well over 80 years old. So you'll see a multitude of people out here making it through the battleground.
Now, what happens when they come in? Let's say we've got somebody that's not really athletically inclined and he gets to something like this. How's he going to get around it?
Usually it's encouragement of other warriors that's helping them get over that obstacle. But if they are in a situation where they can't complete the obstacle, we make sure we got ways for them to get around it. But almost everyone gives it a go, and their friends will will them right over that wall. 3-mile race, 12 obstacles along the way, and the wave goes off in 600 runners every 30 minutes throughout the day.
So does it get a little crowded on the course at times?
We designed the course so that there's a good amount of running beforehand to kind of let it spread out a little bit, and we'll put the bigger obstacles at the front that may not cause a backup, and those that are smaller we'll put towards the end where it's really filtered out a bit. So we try and design it as best we can to minimize any backups, and we do a really good job of that.
Okay, it looks like it's a lot of fun to do this. So you guys, you run the race too?
I ran a couple before, but I think the question, Tom, is when are you going to run your first one?
Yeah, that is a good question. I'll tell you what, next time I'm going to be out here doing this.
All right, we're going to have to get you in that mud pit.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like fun to me. Right. And then I get a beer afterwards,
there
right?
You go. A lot of people, this is their first go at it, and they are scared or they're nervous, but they come with their group of friends. Their friends are encouraging them along the way. Other warriors are encouraging them along the way. And without that ultra-competitive feel, it really makes people feel encouraged to give it a go. They do it once, they love it, and they come back again.
What are the obstacles? How do you come up with it?
Yeah, we have teams back home in the office right now that are probably brainstorming obstacles as we speak, coming up with new ideas and ways to challenge people that are fun but are safe as well.
Okay, we're going to take a look around. This is just one of them. There's a lot more out here. We got about 12 of them, doesn't it?
Yeah, we got about 12 obstacles on the course. So we've got things that involve climbing, balance. We've obviously got some mud to get them dirty, and we've got some fire to jump over. Warriors will conquer the cargo climb. After this, they're going to hit a warrior roast, which is the fire jump, and then they're into the mud pit for the finale and across the finish line. Most likely they're going to head over to what we call warrior wash. They'll have a chance to take a bath, if you like to call it that, warrior style, clean off a little bit, and then they'll head into the festival area.
So we're right by the end now.
Yeah, we're right there. They can taste the victory, and they can taste that beer.
Everyone keeps asking me if I'm going to try it this year. Well, I guess you'll just have to stay tuned to find out. Hope you enjoyed our little trip down memory lane. If you would like more information, you can go to our website at greatgetaways.tv. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.